Hello everyone, welcome to your fourth Rhino tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to learn about editing surfaces, like splitting them, rotating them, rebuilding surfaces, and stuff like that. So first thing I want to do is actually have a surface. So in this time, I'm going to actually make it using the planar surface. So here we have a lovely flat surface that we can actually do some editing on. So supposedly I have this surface. Let's say I want to make like a hole in here. So if I just type in let's say I have this curve here, what you can do is, if I want this to be splitted, I can just type split, and then it says select objects to split. So to be this one, hit enter, and then it says select cutting objects. So my cutting object would be this. When I hit enter, we notice that we have two shapes, and it cut like a hole through the surface I had. You can have any shape here, like even a random shape like this. And if you just type in split and choose the cutting object, you can see that we can easily cut any shape you want from the surfaces using the curves we have. So let's try the other thing, which is rotating 3D. Now the thing with rotating 3D is it can be tricky. So let's say I type in rotate 3D. So this is my object. You really am not sure what to click where, or when it says end of rotation axis. Now the start of rotation axis is basically any point you want, but how do you understand rotating 3D? Is you have to say which edge you want it to stick and which edge you want it to move. So I want this edge to stay put, so I just I click here, and then I click my second one here, and then I notice we have this huge circle. And what I do is the angle of first reference point, I don't know what that means, but I want this side here to go 3D. So I just click this side, and then I notice that my shape is going. Now if I just hit shift, I can actually make it upright. So again, it's really confusing with rotating 3D. I don't know why. But let's say I have, I don't know, this one. I did planar surface. And then I say I want to rotate it first, and then rotate 3D. So there's a big difference between rotate and rotate 3D. If I type in rotate, I click this one here, I say I want this one to rotate here, okay? And then I want it to rotate 3D, so I type in rotate 3D, and then I say which one I want to stay put, so it would be this edge here, and which where I want it to move, so basically is this edge up here. Okay, so hopefully it wasn't so hard, the rotate 3D. The other thing you can do is duplicate edges. So supposedly I have a surface. Let's try something interesting. Not really. Okay, let's say I make a surface like this, and then I hit planar surface. And supposedly I don't have a curve here. Let's say I have this surface here, and I really want the edges of this curve. What you can do is either duplicate edge or duplicate border. So duplicate edge, you can use this. The difference between border and edge, so let's see. If you hit duplicate, we'll actually work with this guy here. So rotate 3D, I say I want this to stay put, and I want the vertical to move down. So if I type duplicate edge, I can use only one edge at a time. And let's say I want to choose all these edges. After I'm done, I hit enter. And make sure always when you're duplicating edges that are closed, the next command you have to use is join. So join, and then I can see I have my curve. So let's say I did not click join. Let's say I did the duplicate edge again. Let's say I clicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hit enter. Now when I choose the curve, I can see that I can only choose one curve at a time. It's not like one full curve. Like if I try to move this, it's on its own. So you really have to make sure that you click join before you actually get out of the command. So duplicate border is actually the easiest if you have it like closed. Sometimes you want edges but they're not closed, so you can join them if they are like connected to each other. But duplicate border is only for like shapes which are closed. So let's say I want to duplicate border, and then I say the surface is this, I hit enter, and I can see I have the border ready for my surface. So here it worked actually, the edge and the border can work because it's actually a one connected polyline. So here if I say duplicate edge, it works just fine and I have the edge of the surface. Okay, so that should be it for the easy part. Now we're going to talk about rebuilding your surfaces. Now let's say I have a flat surface, so I'm going to draw this, hit planar surface. Okay, so let's say I want this surface to be divided into a bunch of surfaces. So if you just click this one and then go to your surface tools, you can see there is like a bunch of guys hitting something. You actually want to choose this guy, rebuild surface, or you can just type in rebuild and it'll be fine. You notice here we have a panel, and this panel is like really important. So I think by default this is 3 and 3, okay? So first thing you want to notice, if you type here, like let's say you type, okay, again, rebuild this, okay. Let's say here you said you want 10 and here we'll leave it at 3. If you notice, the number of cells are changing. Now what you want to notice, if we have this surface, it's 10 and 3. If you think that this is going to be 10 cells, you're wrong. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 10 minus 3 is 7. We have here 7 cells. And I'll tell you the difference, like why is it 10 and why is it 7. So let's say I have another surface. Let's draw my other, or let's just try to duplicate the border of this one. Border. Okay, and let's make another the exact same planar surface. Okay, and then we hit rebuild. Click this, hit enter, and let's say I keep this at 1. Now, first thing you notice, we actually have 10 cells here. So if I just zoom in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's actually 10 lines dividing it. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have here 10 lines dividing in the U and V. Okay, so hit OK, and notice the degree here, I left it at 1. Okay, so we have here two surfaces which have been rebuilt. So what do I do with them? So if you just type this, you click this one and then you go to your surface tools, you notice we have here the same points on and off. They're actually not the same as the one we see in the standard. They don't work the same. You actually have to go surface tools and choose this one. You notice that we have a bunch of points and like surrounding our cell. Now if you actually move these points, so let's say I move this vertically, so I just hold in control and I go vertical, we can see that we can actually move these points and we have a smooth surface that's actually being created when I just pull these lines. Okay, now here if I do the same thing, so points on, and I try to move these points, we notice that it's not so smooth. It's actually pretty edgy and it's a bit harsh. Okay, so if I just drag these points up, I notice that they're a bit okay. So if you remember, let's go with the rebuild. So rebuild. Okay, you notice here, okay, new. Here when we rebuilt it, if you notice, we have 7 cells. So this is the one where we did 10 by 10 for the UV, the point count I think it was, and the other ones were 3. Here we have it at 1. So if you just type in rebuild again and say, okay, I need another surface here. So planar surface. Okay, hit rebuild. Okay, so the trick is here you can say how many cells you want. So let's say I want 10 by 10, so you have 10 lines dividing it into 9 cells. And here the degree is actually how smooth. So the lower the number, the more the more not so smooth it is, the more like it's edgy, and the higher the number, the more smooth it is. So this is basically the rule for the degree and the rule for the point count. So here's where you say how many cells you want, and here you can determine if you want it smooth or you want it edgy. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the rebuilding surfaces. So yeah, we explained the rotate 3D, we explained the duplicating edges and splitting. This should be pretty much the whole thing I can say about surfaces. I'm not sure how far I can go, but this is pretty much how you can edit your surfaces in Rhino. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask in the comment section, and I will answer if I have time, and hopefully you learned something new today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next tutorial.